You bought the same kind of groceries: bread, milk, eggs, fruit, vegetables. Nothing feels that different. But the receipt is bigger than it used to be. That feels confusing. But the simple answer is this: groceries are not priced only by what you pick up in the store. The final price also carries the cost of farming, transport, packaging, workers, fuel, rent, and store costs before the food ever reaches your basket. But stay for the three simple reasons, because each one explains a different part of why the same food costs more. Reason one is the cost before the food even reaches the shelf. The confusing part is that the basket can look almost identical, but the final total can still be higher. That is why it feels like the same food suddenly costs more. The price on the shelf is only the last number you see. Before that, the food has already passed through growers, factories, trucks, warehouses, workers, and store costs. Reason one is the cost before the food reaches the shelf. Reason one is that groceries already have costs built in before you see them. To you, it looks like a loaf of bread or a carton of eggs. But behind that item, someone had to grow it, process it, package it, cool it, move it, and place it on a shelf. If fuel costs more, transport costs more. If packaging costs more, the item costs more. If wages, rent, or storage costs rise, the store has more cost to cover. So the visible item looks the same, but the cost behind it may be higher. This is why the same product can sit on the same shelf in the same package, but still cost more than it did before. The item did not change much. The cost chain behind it changed. That is the first reason. The shelf price is carrying hidden costs from before the food got there. Now, reason two is different. It is about how stores spread rising costs across many normal items. Now, reason two is store costs. Reason two is that the supermarket also has its own costs. The store has to pay for workers, electricity, fridges, rent, deliveries, cleaning, checkout systems, and damaged or wasted food. A shopper may only notice the price of milk or bread, but the store is trying to cover the cost of running the whole place. So when those store costs rise, the increase does not always appear as one obvious fee. It can quietly show up across many everyday items. This is why the grocery bill can rise a little at a time. A few cents more here, $1 more there, and suddenly the final receipt feels much bigger. That is why it can feel sneaky. You do not always see one giant price jump. You see small increases spread across the basket. And reason three is the part people usually miss. The final receipt is not about one item. It is about the whole basket adding up. And reason three is the whole basket. Reason three is that grocery pain comes from the whole basket, not one price tag. One item going up might not feel huge, but when bread, milk, eggs, fruit, snacks, meat, and cleaning products all move up a little, the receipt changes a lot. That is why it feels so frustrating. You may not have bought anything fancy. You may not have changed your habits. But the total still climbs because many small increases are stacking together. The basket looks normal because it is normal. That is the point. The shock comes when ordinary items combine into a total that feels higher than expected. So the confusing part is this: nothing in the basket has to look different for the receipt to feel different. The pressure can be behind the food, inside the store, and spread across the whole basket. So here is the simple takeaway. The simple takeaway is this: your grocery receipt is not only the price of the food you see in the basket. it is also carrying the cost of getting that food grown, packed, moved, stored, chilled, staffed, and sold. So when you buy the same things and the receipt is higher, it does not always mean you bought more. It can mean the pressure behind the same food got more expensive. That is why the basket can look the same, but the total keeps moving up.